Hello everybody, welcome back to the internet's best reactions. Today we are talking about the 2019 Austrian Grand Prix. Now we came off the back of one of the worst races I can remember of the French Grand Prix. And then we have Austria. Oh my goodness, I actually cannot remember a better race for quite some time. And we've got some good reactions, we've got some good talking points, including me probably breaking down and crying at some point during this video. Let's get into your reactions. Let's begin at the very beginning, the start of the race. Obviously, qualifying has kind of teed us up for a very, very good race. You know, it was kind of mixed up. You had Vettel back there, you had Hamilton getting a penalty, even though it was 3 places and he only went back 2 because of the new rule. Well, new rules, the rules that are currently in place. Let's go with @FauxBalman. What a start from Lando. Lando Norris. What an absolute banging start. From 5th on the grid, he flies, Verstappen goes nowhere, and then he's like, right, I'm going around the outside of Hamilton, goes into P3 very briefly until Mercedes just breezed past the McLaren. But hey, it was awesome to see Lando up there fighting with Hamilton for 2 corners, and then he obviously fell back quite a bit, but it was just such a good start to the race. And lots of you came in with Lando Lewis gifts and whatnot, so I have to include a few. Emily Ellaby, Lando versus Lewis. That sums my kind of opinion and feelings up very well. Hell to the yeah. I loved it. I want to see more of it. And as the commentators love to say, these are the stars of the future, Verstappen, Norris. Don't know why I'm talking like that. Crofty doesn't sound like that, but hey. Something else to note at the start of the race was Kimi Raikkonen. If you didn't know that he'd moved from Ferrari to Alfa Romeo, you may as well have thought he was in a Ferrari because he went up to 4th place at the start. At Lando's Norris book, an Alfa in 4th? He was on fire. Actually, to be fair, both him and Giovinazzi, they both scored points, and it was a really good weekend for Alfa Romeo. So it's good to see even Antonio getting off the mark and getting his first ever career point. Now, I mentioned Max Verstappen having a poor start because Lando had an absolute flyer. At V2 Husker, Max Verstappen at the start of the race. He had an absolute shocker, and I thought that was it. Not a chance he's getting anywhere near the podium. How wrong I was. Now, Max Verstappen fell back right at the start. Lando, unfortunately, fell back by lap 8 at _Chevywood. Lando from P3 in turn 1 to P7 at lap 8, but he was kind of out of place, wasn't he? It's not like we expected him to stay in P3 or even P4 for that matter. And McLaren, I'm loving it. I'm loving how far up the grid McLaren are at the moment. Lando smashing it. Carlos Sainz, we're going to get onto him, but he started at the back, finished P8, and I didn't see any of him. But there is a tweet about that, so we'll get onto that soon. Someone who had a decent start and continued in the lead was Charles Leclerc. Obviously, he was on pole position after qualifying. It was my birthday when qualifying happened. I was absolutely buzzing, although not buzzing so much at the end of Sunday. At Wilmac212, plan A for Charles. I love it when Ferrari just come over and go, plan A. Plan A. Absolutely no kind of change is needed. We're going for plan A. But then it actually wasn't so great because Charles had to cover off Bottas, which meant he then had older tyres for his second stint and didn't win the race. Not going to talk about it yet. At Cohen Zegeng, seeing a Williams in a battle for the first time this year. George Russell getting pretty feisty at the beginning of the race. I think it was a Haas he was trying to overtake into turn 3. He didn't, and he fell away, but it was great to see Williams getting stuck in. One day, I reckon towards the end of the season, they will finally be, well, actually, I don't know, who would they be beating? Haas? Like Toro Rosso? Because where are Haas and Toro Rosso this weekend? Nowhere. It's crazy to see how the midfield can go from Toro Rosso being the fastest to pretty much being the slowest, or Haas. So topsy-turvy. Now, it wouldn't be a race weekend without a Croftyism. At _JazzCFC, Crofty, this actually did make me laugh quite a lot. I was like, huh? What? Average track temperature, 39 degrees, while the current temperature is 51 degrees. If people are wondering why tyres are heating and drivers are struggling, it's because the track is 20 degrees more hotter. Quick maths, Crofty. Now, I don't want to Gasly bash too much. I have done a little bit of that on Twitter already, but you kind of have to look at the results, and I know he's struggling. I know he's probably put a lot of pressure on himself, but you cannot get lapped by your teammate who wins the race without having any issues. At Williams Gaming 1, Gasly when he sees Verstappen get past the midfield. Obviously, Gasly actually got past Verstappen right at the beginning, and then we didn't see the overtake where Verstappen's obviously just flown up the inside or whatever. I don't think we actually saw the replay of that. But Gasly, man, Gasly. Oh, I'd love to see him do well. He's such a nice guy, but he just doesn't seem to fit the Red Bull ethos. But then in Toro Rosso, he absolutely shines. Maybe he has to go back to Toro Rosso to find his mojo again. I don't know. Now, obviously, Ferrari are kind of memed for, messing up their strategy, but it wasn't their strategy this time, really. It was the pit stop of Vettel at RF1 fan, Ferraris Vettel pit stop. Wasn't great, was it? They didn't have two of the tyres ready. They just ran out the garage like, oh, Christ, the car's arrived. Hey-ho. That may have actually cost Vettel third place, but he beat Hamilton, I guess, so every cloud has a silver lining. Now, this is what I meant. Carlos Sainz, we're coming back to him now. I found the tweet. At Robbie Damo, Sainz overtaking everyone. Broadcasters. Did we even see the man at any point during the race? Poor guy, absolutely. He set fastest lap at one point. We should have been on board with him to get the fastest ride around Austria. To be fair, I will let the broadcasters off this time because there was chaos everywhere. Although, please stop showing Hamilton going through turn 1, which I think there's a tweet for as well. We'll get onto that. In fact, it's the very next tweet, at Elusive Craver, Hamilton going into turn 1 every lap. You kind of, wonder if that was really the fastest way or if Mercedes had come over the radio and gone, Lewis, please stop going over that curb. You're going to explode the car. But he just kept on doing it. No one else seemed to do it in the race. It was just him. And it didn't work out too well because his front wing broke, didn't it? Although I saw absolutely nothing wrong with it. There must have been something on the underside of it or whatever. But in terms of looking at it cosmetically, it was fine. If I was a doctor for that front wing, I would have gone, you're absolutely fine, mate. It wasn't, obviously, because they had to change it, and Mercedes know a lot more than me. Social Media Team Championship time. Now let's talk teams and who is going to score some points this time around. Let's find out. In third position, we have Toro Rosso. Now, I'm a fan of karaoke. I do enjoy a bit of singing. So I'm a little bit biased when it comes to choosing this, but I find it very funny with Alex Albon's face in this one. We're not sure if it's media day or karaoke day. Spot on. The baby doesn't like it, but I do. There's a lot of wowing in the background if you can't hear it. But Toro Rosso, you did well. 1 point. In second place, it's back-to-back point finishes for McLaren F1. To clear up any confusion, Lando will start P5 and Carlos P19 at today's Austrian GP. That should end any further back and forth. No, we mean fourth, fifth. I just enjoy the race. Obviously, that was because of the confusion of Lando tweeting fifth and then thinking Hamilton was going to start behind him, so going fourth, but then actually starting fifth. Bants. 2 points. And finally, the winners of the Austrian Grand Prix for some serious Social Media Team Championship bants. Don't know why I keep saying that in this video. The winners are Sport Pacer Racing Point Formula 1 team again. They extend their lead at the top of the table with a very simple but effective tweet. Helmet hungry. Om nom nom nom. I don't know, it just made me chuckle. The picture's good. I like Pac-Man. Easy win. Well done. 3 points. That's 1 point for Toro Rosso, 2 points for McLaren F1, and 3 points for Sport Pacer Racing Point Formula 1 team. At Aliar Harris, 6 replays of Hamilton going over the sausage curbs. Hamilton, I think I have front wing damage. Summed up beautifully. There was also a close shave in the pit lane, I think, for Vettel's pit stop, which we saw in a replay a little bit later at Andy Gold FM. Close shave for the Ferrari pit crew. I think one of them nearly got run over. Was he falling over his tyre or something? But it was a pretty close call, and I'm really glad that no one got hurt because that could have been pretty catastrophic. Now, I mentioned the Croftyism. There's another one. This one was a strange way of trying to say Daniel Ricciardo's famous quote. At Metal Dylan, Crofty, lick the envelope and send it around the outside, or perhaps a parcel delivery. Huh? Did you get enough sleep, Crofty, before this race? What? Where were you going with this? I know you're trying to say lick the stamp, but lick the envelope. Strange images in my head right now. There was quite a few meme-worthy moments in this race, having a look at the tweets back. At SClary85, McLaren, keep Ricciardo in DRS range. Lando, forever ever? Forever ever? There was so many memes, so I apologise if I didn't choose your one. Like, F1 teams were using it, loads of fans were using it, but ass at Esclary85 is the one that I chose, sorry. Now, I was sat there watching the race, quite calm and composed. You know, Leclerc was out in front, he had a decent gap to Bottas. Bottas wasn't really doing much. The Mercedes were having so many overheating issues. When you rode on board with Hamilton or Bottas, you would see that they were lifting and coasting like 400-500 metres into the corner. Like, that is mental. We need more hot races to get good races, apparently. At Dan_Maher22, now this is when I started to get a bit worried, Max to the top 3. He just started flying. He had 10-lap fresher tyres. He didn't have the overheating issues that at least Mercedes had. And he started flying through, didn't he? Yes, squeaky bum time. However, then Max came over the radio, I think it was just before he overtook Bottas for second place, saying that he had issues. At Toasted Protein, me praying that Max's issue isn't terminal. Now, we know that I'm not a fanboy of Charles Leclerc, I'm just passionate. So I was in two minds. I was like, oh no, I did not want Max Verstappen to DNF, do not get me wrong, but just a cheeky 10, 20 brake horsepower less, just to kind of ease the pressure on Charles. No, there was just a fail-safe 3.4.7 that he just typed into his computer on his steering wheel, and Bob's your uncle, away he goes, and he was fine. At Razvan PTR26, trying to decide who deserves the win more between Max and Leclerc. Now, a lot of you will probably think that I thought Charles deserved the win, which he did, don't get me wrong, but Max deserved it so much more. Obviously, he had that anti-stall start, which maybe was his fault, but the drive he did after that was absolutely scintillating. And if you think, oh, the Red Bull's really good, you know, anyone can do that, look at Gasly. That's the only thing I have to say on that matter, because Max is performing at a level which, you know, I don't think we've seen before in terms of he's performing excellently but consistently as well, and he is just banging in results left, right and centre, and he then wins at Austria. We did not think that was going to happen, although I actually predicted in the podcast that he would dive bomb Bottas for P2, so Mystic Matt over here, you're welcome. I don't know, I'm saying you're welcome, unless you put a bet on it, then you are welcome. Now it's getting tense towards the end of the race now. Verstappen's up into P2, he's chasing down Charles Leclerc, and I kid you not, my heart rate was going a little bit skyrockety when I was sat there watching the race. At BRVHRT7, Leclerc, leave me alone. I thought he was going to say something along those lines. I didn't think maybe as sassy as he did, but he's just like, just shut up, leave me alone. I know what I'm doing, Kimi Raikkonen style. But did he know what he was doing? I mean, I don't think the team radio man would have been able to save him, but oh, this is the time I'm going to get sad now. I don't want to get sad. At Jatoffel, Leclerc trying to get that first victory. Good meme. I still included it, but shut up. Now, the actual move itself, let's talk about it. Leclerc versus Verstappen. What do I think? Lap 68, obviously, it kind of had a carbon copy of lap 69 in the sense of it was the same kind of move. Verstappen's gone up the inside, left space. Leclerc's got some absolutely banging traction out of that corner and been able to stay ahead of Verstappen. Verstappen couldn't go around the outside at turn 5, 4? Is it 4 or 5? I don't know, because there's a bit of a kink in the middle of the straight. Either way, lap 69. Again, I don't know if Charles should have gone to the inside. I know that Charles was probably thinking, oh, well, it happened in lap 68. It probably happened in lap 69 as well. But it didn't. Max kind of squeezed him a bit more, squeezed him off the track, but I think that was hard and fair racing. Obviously for Charles in the cockpit, it probably felt a lot more sort of harsh, and he thought maybe that Max was wrong, but I don't think so. I think it was hard, fair racing, and it was a racing incident, which I'm so glad it was. Imagine if Charles had got his first win 2 hours after the race with no celebration. It would have been rubbish. At Theo_Davinson, getting to the tweet now. Verstappen and Leclerc under investigation. Now, the actual result of it and the stewarding outcome was fine. I think it was a racing incident, but the amount of time it took to decide that. I know that they went from Vettel, where they just decided in the race, to then being like, right, we'll get both drivers' opinions after the race. But I don't see that working. It doesn't work. The stewards should be able to make a concrete decision based on the evidence in front of them so that they can do it before the end of the race, because otherwise it's just rubbish. Imagine a football match where it's 0-0 and England may have crossed the line or not, but then they decide to give England the goal 2 hours later after the game's finished 0-0. Just, no, doesn't work. Change it. At Paul Challoner, Honda just won an F1 race. It's a good gif. I don't think many people thought that Honda would win an F1 race again, but the Red Bull-Honda partnership is absolutely fantastic. They work together very well on specific tracks, don't get me wrong. They're not the fastest car on the grid currently, but they're coming. At Holmes_Pedro, Charles Leclerc during the podium ceremony. Not too dissimilar to how I was, really. When is that man going to get a win? When is he going to win a race? Bahrain gets absolutely shafted by engine issues. And then you just think like laps 67 out of 71 laps he's leading. No, 68, 69 laps. 3 laps left. That's all he needed. It'll come this year. Italy, you heard it here first. At Janino 1807, when you're against Verstappen's possible penalty, but you want Leclerc to win his first race. Nah, Verstappen deserved it. As much as it hurts me to say it, Max was on another level today. Yesterday. It was actually yesterday, the race. Today is Monday and I'm filming Internet's Best Reactions. Yesterday, on a level.
And now it's time for Race Rundown with your host, Matthew Gallagher.
Race rundown time now, and I've really made myself quite dizzy after doing that, and that was the most pathetic spins I've ever seen. But anyway, let's get into race rundown. The finishers, which was everyone. No one DNF'd. We're going to be here a long, long, long time. Come on, here we go. The finishers of the Austrian Grand Prix is Verstappen, Leclerc, Bottas, Vettel. Verstappen, Leclerc, Bottas, Vettel, Hamilton, Norris, guys. Verstappen, Leclerc, Bottas, Vettel, Hamilton, Goris. Who's Goris? Verstappen, Leclerc, Bottas, Vettel, Hamilton, Norris, Gasly, Sainz, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Perez, Giovinazzi's name is just... Verstappen, Leclerc, Bottas, Vettel, Hamilton, Norris, Gasly, Sainz, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Perez, Ricciardo. Verstappen, Leclerc, Bottas, Vettel, Hamilton, Norris, Gasly, Sainz, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Perez, Ricciardo. Where's Ricciardo now? Verstappen, Leclerc, Bottas, Vettel, Hamilton, Norris, Gasly, Sainz, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Perez, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, Stroll, Albon, Grosjean, Verstappen, Leclerc, Bottas, Vettel, Hamilton, Norris, Gasly, Sainz, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Perez, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, Stroll, Albon. I'm gonna get there. Verstappen, Leclerc, Bottas, Vettel, Hamilton, Norris, Gasly, Sainz, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Perez, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, Stroll, Albon, Grosjean. Oh my God, I'm gonna headbutt. Verstappen, Leclerc, Bottas, Vettel, Hamilton, Norris, Gasly, Sainz, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Perez, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, Stroll, Albon, Grosjean, Kvyat, Russell, Magnussen, Kubica. Boomtown, boom, boomtown. Finally did it after self-injuring myself. Self-harming. And that is it for the internet's best reactions to the 2019 Austrian Grand Prix. What an absolutely marvellous race we had. It just shows Formula One needs varying strategies. You have people on different tyres, pitting at different times, and it will make the race interesting. That's all we need. So let's fix it. If you want to get involved next time, use the hashtag WTF1 on social media, and I'll pick the very best ones to be featured next time, which is in 2 weeks, I believe, for Silverstone, British Grand Prix. If you're there, let us know in the comment section below, because we will be there as well. So come and say hi if you do see us. I won't bite you, I promise, and we'll see you then. Goodbye, I'm Matt WTF1, goodbye.